Welcome. In this playthrough of Marvel Champions the card game, I'll have my first play with Ant-Man taking on Kang the Conqueror. And for Kang, going with just the normal mode, we've got a scheme of 1, attack of 2, comes in with toughness, forced interrupt. When he attacks you, either place a threat on the main scheme or he gets +2 attack for this attack. And when defeated, advance the main scheme to stage 2 at the end of the phase. And he'll have 12 hit points. For his arrival, we're using Kang's 1, 2, and 3, using the Kang standard sets and temporal. Setup, we'll set Kang 2 and 3 in his Dominion scheme aside, not using our obligation cards, and shuffle the encounter deck. Then for his arrival, we've got a threshold of 7 threat. When revealed, deal each player an encounter card. And if we get 7 on here, we will lose the game. Then for Scott Lang, got a recovery 3. His ability, time to unwind, is a response after you change to this form. Heal 1 damage from Scott Lang. Hand size of 6, hit points of 12. His tiny hero form, thwart of 2, attack of 1, defense of 2. It's a puny pest. As a response after you change to this form, remove a threat from a scheme. Hand size of 5. And then his large form, thwart of 1, attack of 3, defense of 3, giant nuisance. After you change to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. All right, for deck construction, we're just using the pre-constructed, so no changes in our hero deck there. For Kang, we need to shuffle our encounter stack and deal ourselves a card. And for Ant-Man, we're getting 6 cards to start with. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we've got Wasp, a Moxie, a Giant Stomp, Swarm Tactics, Pin Particles, and a team building exercise. I think that's rare to happen, so I'll keep those 2. And we'll pitch those 4 just to see what happens. Genius, Strength, Moxie, and Call for Aid. So we're going to go straight to our giant form. After you change to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. And then we'll do a Moxie as a hero response. After you change form, your hero gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense until the end of the round. I'll just set that there as a reminder. Then we'll bring Wasp in for 3. Thwart of 2, attack of 2. After she enters play, deal 2 damage to an enemy if you're in giant form, or remove 2 threat if you're in tiny form. We're in giant, so that's 2 damage. Down to 10. Swing for 2, down to 8. Then we will attack for 4. Down to 4. Then Swarm Tactics. Team up, Ant-Man and Wasp. We've got both of those in play. Hero action, change to your other hero form, and then ready your hero. So we'll change to Ant-Man. After you change to this form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. There's none there, but we ready. And we'll just attack for 2. It's down to 2 health. I'm going to say that wasn't a bad turn. We'll see what Kang counters with. So we were ready, drawing 5 cards. Risk Gauntlets, Call for Aid, Power Gloves, Ronin, and Stinger. So place a threat on the scheme. Kang is going to attack. So he either places a threat on the scheme or he gets +2 attack. We'll just place a threat. We're going to do nothing. So 4 damage coming in. We're down to 8. Another encounter card. First one, Macrobots. It's got Guard and Retaliate 1 and 4 health. And we've got Depowered. Cannot play hero-specific cards. So alter ego action, discard a hero-specific card from your hand to discard this obligation. So we will bring in Ronin for 3. We get +1 thwart and attack while an upgrade is attached to him. Thwart of 1, attack of 2. Go ahead and have him attack for 2 on here. He gets retaliated on. Then attack for 2, which is enough to take the Macrobots out. Then we will thwart for 2. Risk flipping over. After you change to this form, heal a damage from him. So we'll go up to 9. Then discard a hero-specific card to discard our obligation. End your turn and hope this wasn't a mistake. So we're drawing 6 Ant-Man, Pim Particles, Reinforced Suit, Power Gloves, Helmet, and Resize. So we add a threat. Goes a scheme, base 1, 4. So up to 5 out of 7. Then we've got an Ancient Warrior coming in with Quick Strike, and we're in Alter Ego form, so nothing happens. So we made it past that. So we're going to change into Tiny form. Removing a threat. Actually, no, let me take that back a step. We're going to put in our helmet first with 3. This is a hero response, so that won't kick off. So, hero response, after you change to giant form, heal 2 damage from your hero. And after you change to tiny hero form, draw a card. So we are going to change into our hero form. After you change to this form, deal damage to an enemy. After you change to giant hero, heal 2 damage. So go up to 11. We will swing for 3, which will take out this version of Kang. So when defeated, advance the main scheme to stage 2 at the end of the phase, so not just yet. Then we're going to resize, change to your other hero form as a hero action, and draw a card. So we're going to go to our tiny form, drawing a card, into a Moxie. And after you change to your tiny hero form, draw a card. To a team building exercise as a hero action, exhaust this, play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing its resource cost by 1. We're going to bring in an upgrade for 1 though. Attached to an ally, max 1 per ally, you get to +2 hit points. So we'll put that on Ronan, which gives him +1 thwart and attack. And then he'll swing to get rid of the Ancient Warrior. Taking him up to 3 damage out of 4 now. I'm sorry, 3 out of 5. Then we'll go ahead, discard, and draw up to 5. So first aid, resize, giant strength, some power gloves, and team building exercise. Ready up. So we're going to stage 2A, or stage 2. So get rid of that. So place an acceleration token here for each side scheme in play, then discard each side scheme. We don't have any. Each player reveals a random stage 3A in turn order. Remove any unused stage 3A schemes from the game. Basically the way I do those, it's just determining which stage 2 villain we get. I'll give these a shuffle, and we are going to end up with Iron Lad. So he gets retaliate, comes in with toughness and 18 health. So go ahead and mark that up. There's toughness on him. When defeated, remove the side scheme from the game, and at the end of the phase, join another game area. So he's going for this scheme. Create your own game area, place the scheme in it, add Iron Lad to the game area, and deal yourself an encounter card. You're going to have a threshold of 9. After this stage is completed, place 1 set aside Kang's Dominion face down under stage 4A. the end of the phase, remove Iron Lad and this stage from the game and combine your game area with another one. So this is going to come out with 1 thread on it. And then 2B, an acceleration token would be placed on another scheme. Place it here instead, and we can't join here until there's no other game areas. Then when we do go here, we advance to stage 4A. So Iron Lad places a threat, goes to attack for a base 2. I think we'll just take it. So 4 damage coming our way, down to 7. Get him a counter card. The first one, Rampage. When defeated, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the player who defeated the scheme. And then we've got Depowered. Cannot play hero-specific cards. As an alter ego action, discard a hero-specific card from your hand to get rid of that. So we are going to play First Aid to start with. Heal 2 damage from any character. Then we will attach to an Avenger ally. After attached ally attacks or thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. We will flip over, so we heal a damage. Then we'll recover to go up to 11. Discard a hero-specific card to get rid of Depowered. Ronin is going to attack. After he attacks, deal a damage to an enemy. Gets rid of toughness. He's doing 3 damage. Down to 15. And takes his damage and gets retaliated on. We'll end our turn. Drawing 6. Army of Ants. Reinforced Suit. Call for aid. Another Army of Ants. Giant Strength. And a Giant Stomp. So we're going to be adding 2 threat now. So we're up to 4. It's going to scheme for 3. We're at 7 out of 9. Then got a soldier here. Scheme of 1, attack of 1, 3 health. When he attacks you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Take indirect damage equal to the number of boost icons on that card. All right, we're going to change to our tiny form. After you do, remove a threat from a scheme. Take one off there. We also draw a card, getting some energy. We'll attack, doing 3 damage here. Let's get rid of the soldier and Ronin. We'll bring in an Army of Ants. Hero action, if we're in tiny form, exhaust this to deal damage to an enemy. That's dealing damage, so retaliate. And guard wouldn't affect this. So down to 14. We've got some more ants in her pants. So we'll do that for another damage. Down to 13. Then we'll thwart for 2. And end our turn there. We're going to discard the reinforced suit. We're going to keep Giant Stomp and energy. Ready, drawing 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just going to get us an encounter card. Got Hive Mind, Giant Man, Army of Ants, another reinforced suit, and First Aid. So we get 2 threat. It's going to attack. We're going to have Wasp defend. Base 2, 5 damage. Get an encounter card. Oops, guess this needs to be shuffled first. So Wasp is in our discard pile. Get this nice and Ganged up on. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. And I made a mistake and drew too many cards, so I was keeping that since I messed up. I'll go ahead and just discard those. Ruins my plans a little bit, but oh well. So we're getting attacked. Going to defend. Base 2. 4 damage. We block 2 and take 2, down to 9. Next, Temporal Shield attached to Kang. When Kang is attacked, discard this, prevent all damage from this attack, and deal 1 damage to the attacker. All right, we're going to bring in an army of ants. We're in tiny form. So each one of these deals a damage, not an attack. So that's going to be 3 damage right there, down to 10. We are going to change to hero form. After we change to giant form, heal 2 damage from a hero, so up to 11. And we also deal damage to an enemy, not an attack, down to 9. Actually, before we do that, let me take that back just 1 step. We'll pretend we're still tiny. Hive Mind. Play only if you're in tiny hero form. Hero action, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Remove an additional threat from that scheme for each army of ant support you control. We have 3, so we are removing 5 threats from a scheme. So we'll take this down to 1. Then we'll flip over and do those other damage and healing. Ending our turn. Drawing 4. Ronin, call for aid, reinforce suit, and a team building exercise. We'll add 2 threat. Kang's going to attack. We will defend. Base 2. Give Kang a tough status card. 2 damage isn't going to hurt us. Counter card, Shadows of the Past. All right, so we get to see what his nemesis does. So just to refresh, this is going to bring in our set-aside nemesis, reveal our side scheme, and then shuffle the other cards into the encounter deck. So we've got Yellow Jacket, Scheme of 2, Attack of 2. While we are in giant form, he has the giant trait and Retaliate 1. While we're in tiny form, he's tiny and gets +1 attack. For health, Scheme of 2, Attack of 2. Side scheme, treat the printed text box of each tech player card as if it were blank. So that's going to stop our helmet from working. That comes in with 2 threat on it. Then these 3 cards will be shuffled in. Give this a good shuffle. And back to our turn. So we are going to flip to our tiny form. After we do that, remove a threat from a scheme. That is blank. We'll bring in Ronin for 3. He is going to attack for 2. And we'll use 2 ants to finish off Yellow Jacket. And the 3rd ant to get rid of toughness. And that will end our turn. Drawing 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we've got 2 power gloves, a resize, some wrist gauntlets, and a moxie. 2 threat, up to 5. Attacking for 2, we're going to take it. This card gains an extra for each obligation in our play area. We don't have any, so it's going to be 3 damage coming in. So down to 8. And the encounter card, villain attacks you. Fine, we'll defend this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We block 2, down to 6. So Ronan is going to thwart for 1 to get our tech back. So now our helmet's working properly. We are going to change to our giant form. It's going to heal us 2 damage up to 8 and deal a damage over here. Once again, not an attack. Then we will change to our other hero form and draw a card. So back to that. Allows us to draw a card. So we're getting 2 giant strength and a call for aid. Then our ants can swing for 3 down to 5. Put some power gloves. So that's going to, after attached ally attacks or thwarts, deal damage to an enemy. Plus that gives him +1 thwart and attack. Then we'll put in an upgrade as a hero response. After you change to giant form, we'll get +1 attack until the end of this turn. Then we'll put in some risk gauntlets. It's a hero action. For a giant, we can spend 2 physical resources to stun an enemy. For tiny, spend 2 energy resources to confuse an enemy. And that's our turn. Drawing 5. Genius, call for aid, first aid, moxie, and a giant stomp. So we're going up to 7 there. It's going to attack. We're going to take it, base 2, 4 damage. So we're down to 4 health. Counter card, caught off guard, discard an upgrade or support you control. No cards were discarded this way. This card gains surge. So we'll get rid of our wrist gauntlets. Yes, and these are readied. We are going to use our 3 ants. Down to 2 health. We are going to attack for 1. So when King is attacked, discard this, prevent all damage from this attack, and deal 1 damage to the attacker. Then attacking for 3, which will take this version out. And when defeated, the end of the phase, join in another game area, so the retaliate's not going to come into effect. Then as a hero action, we're going to discard cards from a top of our deck until we discard an Avenger ally, then add that ally to our hand. All right, so we get Stinger. Lost a lot of cards just for that. We will go ahead and bring her in. So we can only play her if we have the Avenger trait, which we do, and she does not count against our ally limit. Then, since we're not feeling the best, we're going to do some healing on ourselves to heal 2 damage from us, up to 5. Then we're going to flip to giant form, which is going to let us heal another 2. So up to 7. Deal damage to an enemy, but there aren't any. That's going to end our turn, so we're going to keep Giant Stomp, drawing 3 more cards, which is going to get us an encounter card, unfortunately. So we've got Resize, Ant-Man, and a team building exercise, and we'll shuffle this. All right. Got all our cards, everything readies. This got removed from the game. That did not. Since we're back here in the Master of Time, we move on to 4A. Let's see, reveal King 3, add him to the game. Reveal each face down King's Dominion under this stage. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside area for their nemesis minion, puts it into play, engage with them, and shuffle the encounter deck. So Yellow Jacket is back. We didn't do anything here, but I'll go ahead and shuffle. Kang 3 comes in with toughness and 20 health. Also, when he attacks you, place a threat on the main scheme, or he gets +2 attack for this, and when defeated, we will win the game. All right. So, start of the villain phase. We get 2 threats. He's going to attack. We'll let Stinger defend. So it's going to be 4 attack, 5. Then attacking for 2. We'll take it down to 5. And then the counter card. First one, the villain schemes. Base 2, 3. So we're up to 5. Then the next one, Energy Blast. When revealed, if we're an alter ego, but we're in hero, so Kang attacks you. All right, we'll give him +2 attack, and he's going after Ronan. Attach your identity. So we're not going to ready her next time. That was a turn for the worse. All right, our turn. So we are going to change form to Ant-Man, remove a threat from a scheme. So down to 4. Plus, we'll draw a card to a reinforced suit. We are in tiny mode. So 3 damage. Well, let me see here. I'm going to get toughness off. 1 is going to get rid of toughness. Those are going over here. Then we are going to change to our other hero form and draw a card. So back to giant mode. Deal a damage to an enemy. Heal 2, up to 7. Drawing a card. Hive Mind. We're also +1 attack until the end of this turn. Then, since we're in giant form, we're going to spin 3 for a giant stomp. Deal 1 damage to each minion. It's enough to take out Yellow Jacket. And he's got retaliate, but he's been taken out. And it's not, yes, it is an attack. All right, so then we get to deal 8 damage to an enemy. So down to 12. We are +1, so we will swing for 4, down to 8. So end our turn. I will keep this, might need it. Drawing 3 more, team building exercise, some swarm tactics, and giant man. We were ready, or at least attempt to, and then get rid of frozen in time. Add 2 threat. He's going to attack. We'll add another threat and just hope here. So 2, 3 damage coming our way, down to 4. All right, so we just didn't want him to scheme, and that worked. So he's a scheme of 1, attack of 1. When he attacks you, we're taking more indirect damage. And this is where I'm in trouble, I do believe. Got to go to tiny form. So remove a threat from the scheme. I'll draw a card. Really needed an ally. 1 short of putting him in play. So we're going to use our ants to get rid of the soldier. And Hive Mind, remove 2 threat from a scheme, 1 additional for each ant, so we're removing 5 threat. We'll discard, drawing up to 5. Got some gloves, reinforced suit, a giant stomp, and a resize. We kept Giant Man, we're ready up, and just hope we can live through this one. So 2 threat goes up to 3. Kang's going to attack. We'll place a threat here. We're defending. 2 damage coming in. We defend. Counter card. Insight 1. Place a threat on the main scheme. So we're back up to 5. Each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a different obligation, reveals it, and shuffles the encounter deck. Let's see what all we got. All right, so we're going to take Stolen Memories. And since I didn't touch this, not really going to shuffle it. Place the top 8 cards of your deck face down under this card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's an alter ego action. Discard a mental resource to basically discard everything there. Then back to our turn. 3 army of ants. Down to 5. Flip over to giant form. Dealing a damage down to 4. Healing 2 up to 6. And then we giant stomp for 8. So that's enough to take out Kang the Conqueror. We still had a resize in hand. So with all his upgrades and his ants, those things were amazing this game. He has plenty of options between flipping between all his forms. Very fun to play. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.